Stop everything. Because right now, the Harris dynasty, the so-called royal family of hip-hop, is collapsing before our very eyes. King Harris, the controversial prince who's been both a headline magnet and a cautionary tale, is lying in an ICU bed as doctors whisper the words no fan, no family, no dynasty ever wanted to hear. Final report. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just breaking news. This is earth-shattering. Hospital lights flicker, monitors beep like countdown clocks, and Tiny and the entire Harris clan are gathered in silence, waiting for a doctor to read what could be the last document of King's life, the final goodbye. And when that file slides across the table, it won't just tell a story of health. It could expose secrets, betrayals, and hidden scandals the family fought desperately to keep buried because, let's be honest, this didn't come out of nowhere. For months, whispers swirled. Collapses behind the scenes, cryptic tweets, leaked DMs that hinted King knew his time was running out. And now the cameras are flashing, the hashtags are exploding, and the dynasty's perfect image is cracking. Fans are in meltdown mode, prayers pouring in, conspiracy swirling, and haters cheering in the shadows. But trust me, what's about to spill isn't just about King's health. It's about money, manipulation, and betrayal so deep it could bring the Harris empire to its knees. And the only question that matters now, is this truly King Harris' final goodbye? Or is it the beginning of a scandal darker than anyone imagined? Hospital lights flickered like a stage set for the final act. And in the center of it all lay King Harris, motionless, silent, the once unstoppable, controversial prince of the Harris dynasty, reduced to a trembling heartbeat on a monitor. The ICU wasn't quiet. No, it was thick with whispers, gasps, and the clicking of heels on tile floors as family members rushed in and out. But at the exact moment the doctor slid a file across the table, a file stamped final report, silence fell. Not just the kind of silence that comes with fear. No, this was the silence of secrets about to explode. Because everyone knew when that file was opened, it wasn't just going to describe King's failing health. It was going to reveal betrayals, ignored warnings, and scandals so deep the Harris empire itself could collapse. But how did we get here? That's the question tearing the internet apart. Months earlier, whispers started swirling online. King was canceling appearances. Fans spotted him looking weak at events. A viral clip showed him storming offstage mid-performance, yelling at his own team. At the time, critics called him spoiled. Headlines mocked him. And King, true to form, clapped back with cryptic posts like, "Y'all want me gone so bad? Careful what you wish for." Those words sound less like attitude and more like prophecy. Insiders are leaking that the family knew everything. That King wasn't just skipping shows, he was collapsing behind the scenes. Emergency hospital visits, fainting spells, even seizures allegedly brushed off as exhaustion. Nurses whispered they knew. They were warned. But the brand mattered more than the boy. And the receipts. Screenshots of alleged hospital forms signed weeks before his collapse have started circulating in private Discord servers. One line in particular has gone viral. Patient warned of stress-induced organ risk. Family notified. It's true. This isn't just a tragedy. It's a scandal of negligence. And the internet has noticed. Twitter is in flames. One viral tweet reads, "They let him die for the brand." Another bluntly says, "Royalty." More like sacrifice. Fans are torn in half. Some praying with hashtags, like hashtag pray for King. Others raging with hashtag Harris exposed. TikTok edits show old footage of King laughing. Spliced against hospital monitors, the captions reading, "He warned us." One clip of a little girl sobbing while holding King's photo has already crossed 10 million views. Meanwhile, inside the hospital, the family is fracturing. Witnesses describe T pacing the halls, refusing to look anyone in the eye. Tiny, sobbing uncontrollably, makeup smeared, ignoring cameras for the first time in her career. Siblings posting cryptic messages like "God knows best" and "Pray for us." But the whispers, they're darker. Alleged staffers claim arguments are breaking out in the waiting room. fingers pointed, voices raised, guilt dripping from every word. One nurse told a tabloid, "It's not just grief, it's guilt. You can feel it." And then came the bombshell leak that turned everything upside down. A burner Twitter account posted what they claimed was a page from the final report. Not just medical terms, but damning lines. Traces of unregulated substances detected. Fans zoomed in, analyzed every letter, every signature. Real, fake. The debate didn't matter. Within hours, millions believed it. Memes spread, crowns dripping with poison, headlines with T's face plastered beside words like "empire in crisis." And right when the chaos hit its peak, King's last Instagram story resurfaced, him in a dimly lit room, saying, "Y'all think you know me. You don't." In hindsight, chilling. But the storm was just beginning. At midnight, the burner account returned with one cryptic message. "Check back at 3 a.m. Truth drops then." Fans stayed awake, refreshing timelines, desperate for the leak. And right on cue, an audio file appeared. A muffled recording allegedly from the hospital itself. You can hear the beeping of monitors, the shuffling of papers. And then a doctor's voice, repeated warnings, non-compliance, stress-induced collapse compounded by, and then silence. Cut off, edited. Maybe, but enough to spark absolute panic. Twitter melted. Was it drugs? Sabotage? Negligence? Nobody knew. But everybody had an opinion. Celebrities jumped in. 50 Cent posted, "Told y'all the game eats its own." Cardi B went live. "If y'all knew what I know about these families, you'd be sick." And Boosie, never one to stay quiet, shouted into his phone, "That boy didn't just collapse. He was betrayed." Screenshots flew across Instagram like wildfire. Fans didn't just see a medical emergency anymore. They saw a conspiracy. And then came the most dangerous leak. Yet screenshots of financial ledgers allegedly tied to King. Transactions with coded names. Suspicious suppliers, payments that screamed money laundering. Insiders claimed King had private sponsors, shadowy figures funding his rockstar lifestyle. Lavish cars, jewelry drops, parties bigger than most rappers, tours. Everyone assumed it was T.I.'s money. But what if it wasn't? What if King's name was being used in schemes darker than anyone imagined? TikTok detectives pounced. Threads dissected every screenshot, linking dates to known parties, posts, and flexes. One viral theory claimed the Harris dynasty isn't royalty, it's a hustle, and King was their front. And if that wasn't enough, another insider leak claimed a video exists, King, hours before his collapse, crying and screaming, "They don't love me. They love the money." That video hasn't surfaced yet, but the internet is waiting. And when it does, the entire dynasty could burn by dawn. The Harris family's PR team scrambled to issue a vague statement. "We ask for privacy at this time," but fans weren't buying it. #PrivacyForWho trended within the hour. Street protests even erupted outside the hospital, fans holding candles, chanting justice for King. Meanwhile, online, hashtags like #FinalGoodbye and #HarrisExposed trended side by side. A digital war between those praying for his survival and those demanding accountability. And then, the cliffhanger nobody expected. A mysterious message appeared on that same burner account. A blurry photo of what looked like a USB flash drive, captioned, "The truth is bigger than you think." Dropping soon, the internet froze. Was this the proof? Was this the video, the receipts, the files that would expose everything? Fans flooded the comments with panic and anticipation. Celebrities went silent. Even blogs refused to post without disclaimers. Because if that flash drive is real, if it contains what insiders whisper it does, then King Harris. Final Goodbye won't just be the end of a young star's life. It'll be the end of the Harris dynasty itself. And as the family gathered around King's bed, clutching his hands, praying for a miracle, the rest of the world wasn't praying. They were refreshing, waiting for the drop, bracing for the scandal that could rewrite hip-hop history forever. The photo of the flash drive was all it took. Within minutes, Twitter was chaos, TikTok flooded with theories. Reddit turned into a digital crime scene investigation board. What was on it? Fans speculated everything from unreleased music to incriminating contracts. But insiders whispered something far darker: voice notes, videos, and bank records that could expose betrayals buried deep inside the Harris dynasty at exactly 3 p.m. the next day. The flash drive contents began leaking. First came screenshots of encrypted messages, chats allegedly between King and a shadowy contact. The words were haunting. "They'll use me until I'm gone. If something happens, don't trust them." Within seconds, hashtags set up by his own trended globally. Fans replayed the messages on loop, dissecting every typo, every timestamp. Was King confessing? Or was he warning the world about something bigger? Then came the audio. A chilling 5-minute clip of King's voice recorded just hours before his collapse. He sounded panicked, breathless, whispering, "I know they're watching me. I know what's in those accounts. They think I won't speak, but I will. I don't care if it burns the whole family down." The audio ended with a loud bang, maybe a door slamming, and then silence. Fans went feral. TikTok edits paired his words with funeral clips. Instagram Reels cut the audio over footage of T performing. The captions reading, "Was it worth it?" But the worst was still to come. The next leak was video. Blurry security footage allegedly from the night before King collapsed. The clip showed him staggering down a hallway, clutching his chest, while 2 unidentified figures walked behind him. One leaned close. King's voice cracked out, "Why y'all doing this?" The video cut there, but it was enough to ignite theories of sabotage. Was he poisoned? Overdosed? Betrayed? Fans screamed conspiracy. One viral tweet read, "This wasn't a collapse. This was an execution." Meanwhile, the Harris household was spiraling. Witnesses described fights breaking out in the hospital lobby. T.I. reportedly yelling at staff. Tiny scenes storming out with tears streaming down her face. One insider claimed the siblings were at war too, some demanding the family release the full truth. Others insisting they bury it forever. And through it all, cameras flashed outside, paparazzi capturing every meltdown, every fight. Every desperate glance. The internet wasn't quiet either. Hashtags multiplied. Hashtag justice for King, hashtag Harris exposed, hashtag family betrayal. Fan pages that once posted birthday tributes now shared investigative threads, piecing together a timeline of King's final days. One TikTok with over 12 million views claimed to prove the Harris family staged his collapse to cover financial fraud. Real or fake, it didn't matter. Millions believed it. Celebrities couldn't stay silent. Nicki Minaj tweeted, "They broke him. Now they breaking each other." Meek Mill posted, "Industry is a coffin. Don't forget that." And Snoop Dogg, usually unbothered, simply wrote, "All money ain't good money." Their words spread like wildfire, turning a personal tragedy into a cultural referendum on fame itself. And then came the most shocking leak yet. A series of emails, allegedly between the Harris family's lawyers, surfaced online. In them, one line jumped out: "If the report leaks, prepare for negligence claims." Fans froze. Negligence, the word echoed like a gunshot. Was this acknowledgement they'd ignored the warnings? Screenshots of the emails went viral, shared by bloggers, gossip pages. Even mainstream outlets desperate to keep up. By nightfall, protesters gathered outside the hospital. Candles lit, signs reading truth for King and no more lies. Videos showed fans chanting in unison, demanding the release of the full report. Some sobbed, others screamed. The energy wasn't just grief, it was fury. Fury at an industry that chews up young stars. Fury at a family accused of choosing money over love. Fury at the silence that spoke louder than words. And silence is exactly what the Harris family gave. Hours passed. No statements. No clarifications. Just cryptic posts, a black square on Instagram from one sibling. A prayer emoji from Tiny, and T spotted leaving the hospital with his hood pulled low. But the silence only fueled the fire. Fans filled the void with their own theories, their own narratives, their own receipts. Then came the midnight nuke. Another leak from the flash drive. This time, a financial ledger. Names redacted, but numbers so outrageous they shocked even veteran industry insiders. Millions transferred in coded chunks linked to events, appearances, and private suppliers. Analysts speculated it was proof of laundering. Proof King wasn't just a performer, but a pawn in something far larger. One viral TikTok broke down the numbers. This isn't just shady, it's criminal. Okay? And fans ate it up as the world processed the receipts. The burner account returned with one final post. A blurry audio waveform. Captioned, "The real betrayal drops at dawn." Fans lost their minds. Was this the rumored recording of King accusing someone close to him? Was this the final proof he was silenced? Theories ran wild. Some pointed to his team, others to family, others to industry giants. But everyone agreed. Whatever dawn brought, it was going to shatter everything. Inside the hospital, things were no calmer. Nurses whispered of raised voices, slammed doors, threats of lawsuits if anyone spoke to press. One anonymous staffer texted a gossip blog, "It's not grief anymore, it's war." Lawyers in suits stormed the halls, their phones buzzing nonstop. And through it all, King lay motionless, the eye of a hurricane tearing apart everything around him. Fans held vigils. Celebrities debated live on Instagram. TikTokers posted countdowns to dawn. The whole world seemed to pause, waiting for the next leak. Because if the rumors were true, if that audio really existed, then King Harris' final goodbye wasn't just a tragedy. It was a betrayal so dark it could rewrite hip-hop history. And as the clock ticked toward dawn, the internet collectively held its breath, bracing for the drop that could turn whispers into screams, secrets into scandals, and a goodbye into the downfall of an empire. At exactly 6 a.m., the leak hit. No warning, no buildup, just a raw audio file uploaded to Twitter by the burner account. Captioned with 3 words, he said this. The world clicked play. The file began with heavy breathing. King Harris' voice, fragile, trembling, but unmistakable, filled the speakers. They set me up. It's not just stress. It's not just me. It's them. They knew I was breaking. They pushed me anyway. For the brand, for the money. And if you hear this, I swear they wanted me gone. Silence followed. Then the faint sound of someone else's voice, deep, sharp. Cutting through the static, "Don't make me do this again." Fans froze. Who was it, T? A manager? A friend? The voice was distorted, but it was there, undeniable. The audio ended abruptly, but the damage was done. The hashtag who said it trended instantly, with millions dissecting every syllable, pitch, and tone. Some swore it was T. Others claimed it was a producer. Others said it was someone higher up, a figure the family never wanted exposed. Social media detonated. TikTokers posted slowed-down versions of the audio with waveforms and pitch analyses. Reddit threads compared it to old interviews, splicing the mystery voice beside known clips of T, management, even alleged family friends. Theories ran rampant. Betrayal wasn't just implied anymore, it was confirmed. King had spoken it himself. Meanwhile, at the hospital, chaos erupted. Paparazzi swarmed as word of the leak spread. Reporters screamed questions through the glass doors. Did you set up your son? What's in the final report? Who said those words? Security shoved cameras back as the Harris family crumbled inside. Tiny sobbed uncontrollably in the corner. T allegedly shouted at lawyers demanding they shut it all down. One sibling stormed out, refusing to stay silent, reportedly saying, "I'm not going down with this." By noon, the recording had over 50 million plays. Celebrities joined the storm. Kanye West tweeted, "They sacrificed their own." Summer Walker went live saying that boy was crying out for help. Y'all heard it? And 21 Savage, breaking his silence, posted, "Atlanta, don't play about betrayal. Somebody go and pay for this?" Screenshots of these reactions lit the internet on fire, fueling the theory that this wasn't just negligence, it was orchestrated. Then came the second wave. Leaked screenshots of contracts tied to King's name, documents showing his image rights, his music, sponsorships, all signed not by him, but by family representatives. Fans saw it as proof. Proof he was being controlled, proof the empire profited while he withered away. One viral tweet summed it up. He wasn't a son. He was an investment. Fans rallied, furious. Hashtags like #JusticeForKing and #HarrisEmpire fall trended globally. Candlelight vigils turned into protests, with fans chanting, "Release the report." Outside the hospital, fans wept and screamed, holding posters of King's face with the words he warned us scrawled across them. Some even confronted the family directly, shouting accusations as security struggled to keep the mob at bay. But the biggest bombshell came at 8 p.m. that night. The final report leaked, not through the family, not through doctors, but through the same burner account that had fueled this entire storm. A PDF began circulating, stamped confidential. Every page a dagger. The report detailed King's medical collapse in brutal detail. Organ failure, stress-induced breakdowns, repeated hospital visits. But the most damning section, a timeline. Warning after warning ignored. Doctors advising immediate intervention, rest, detox. Notes signed and acknowledged but brushed aside. The report explicitly stated patient's deterioration accelerated due to non-compliance, influenced by external pressures from close affiliates. External pressures affiliates. The vague wording screamed of cover-ups. But the implication was clear. This wasn't just on King. It was on the people around him. It wasn't just on King. It was on the people around him. The internet erupted. Within hours, the Harris name was trending for all the wrong reasons. #negligence trended alongside hashtags set up by his own. Lawsuits loomed. Anonymous legal insiders whispered to gossip blogs that negligence claims were imminent, that subpoenas were already being prepared for financial records and contracts. Some even claimed the FBI and IRS were circling, sniffing for deeper crimes hidden behind the glitz and glamour. The Harris dynasty, once seen as untouchable, was crumbling in real time. Endorsements pulled out. Sponsors deleted old posts. TV networks quietly distanced themselves. VH1 clips featuring the family disappeared from promotional reels. It was as if the world was scrubbing them away, erasing them before the fallout consumed everything. And still, the leaks didn't stop. Another clip surfaced, allegedly King's last video message recorded in secret on his phone. Eyes red, voice hoarse, he whispered, "If I don't make it, remember me as more than what they made me. I'm not perfect, but I deserved better." Fans broke down. Millions reposted it, adding captions like, "He deserved better." The video became the symbol of the movement. The Harris family, meanwhile, remained paralyzed. T issued a shaky Instagram live, insisting the leaks were fake news, claiming the family was under attack. But the comments shredded him apart. "We heard the tape, we saw the receipts." Too late, his words only added fuel to the fire. Tiny stayed silent, her last post still the prayer emoji. Siblings vanished from social media altogether, leaving only cryptic stories of black screens and broken hearts. And the fans, they weren't letting go. They demanded accountability. They demanded justice. They demanded truth. Protesters marched outside record labels, chanting King's name. Online petitions gained millions of signatures overnight, calling for investigations, calling for transparency, calling for the dynasty's downfall by the end of the week. News anchors weren't asking if the Harris family would survive this scandal. They were asking how much longer before the entire empire collapsed. The narrative had shifted completely. King Harris wasn't just a young star in a tragic medical crisis. He was now the symbol of betrayal. The face of a dynasty destroyed by its own greed. And as the world replayed that chilling audio, they set me up. They wanted me gone. One truth became undeniable. This wasn't just a goodbye. This was an exposure, a reckoning. The Harris dynasty's darkest hour, illuminated by the voice of the very son they failed to protect. But here's the most haunting part. The burner account that leaked everything. After dropping the final report, it vanished, deleted, gone without a trace. But not before one last cryptic post. This isn't over. There's more. Watch closely. The world froze again. What more could there be? If the final report already destroyed the family, what was left? Another betrayal. Another voice. Another secret even darker than this. Fans brace themselves. Because if there's one thing this saga proved, it's that in the world of power, fame and betrayal, the truth doesn't just come out. It explodes. And King Harris' final goodbye? It wasn't an end. It was the spark that lit a fire that may never burn out. Listen closely. Because this isn't just another story you scroll past. King Harris' final goodbye has torn the internet apart. Whispers turned into screams. Leaks turned into bombs. And now the Harris dynasty itself is teetering on the edge of collapse. But if you think this is over, you're wrong. Every second, more files could drop, more recordings could surface, and more secrets could explode across your screen. And the real question is, will you be here when it happens? Or will you miss the moment the truth finally breaks wide open? Don't gamble with FOMO. Smash that like button right now to push this story to the top. Because the more you engage, the faster the next leak reaches you before anyone else. Drop your theories in the comments. Who do you think whispered those chilling words? Don't make me do this again. Was it family? Was it industry? Or was it someone bigger? Someone hiding in the shadows? We're watching every comment, every clue, every theory, and your voice matters in this investigation. And above all, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the burner account might be gone, but the trail isn't cold. If more proof drops, and insiders swear it will, you won't want to be the last to know. Stay locked in, because King Harris' goodbye was not the end. It was only the beginning of the downfall, the betrayal, and the scandal that could change everything we thought we knew about fame, family, and power. The next twist is coming. The only question is, will you be here when it hits? Will you be here when it hits?